Sometimes you've been convinced to buy something you didn't need or agree to something you didn't want. The truth is, there are dark psychological tricks people use every day to control your mind. Trick number 1, the breath control. Having a heated argument? Ask the other person if they are okay, because they're breathing really hard. They will stop arguing and try to pay attention to their breathing, resulting in the end of that discussion. And if they try to start arguing again, just casually mention their B breathing is back to normal. It'll throw them off and give you a chance to cool them down. Trick number 2, memory rewind. If you experience trauma, retelling the story over and over in present tense, "He pulled the gun out," versus "he is pulling out a gun," will move the memory from your amygdala and engage your prefrontal cortex. This makes the memory more of a historical retelling rather than an emotional one. I probably got the brain parts wrong, but it works. You know why did the traumatized person become a historian? Because they were great at retelling their past. Trick number 3, silent treatment. Don't react when somebody is getting unnecessarily angry. It drives them crazy. Trick number 4, gaze diversion. If you want to avoid being called on in class or during a meeting, be sure to make a point of looking at the speaker, even making eye contact if you can, until the end of their question. Then look at someone else in the room to divert the speaker's attention to them. If it doesn't work, maybe you should consider a more permanent solution. Trick number 5, encouraging gaze. When someone shy is speaking, look at them, make eye contact, and nod. It encourages them to continue talking. Perfect for when you're trying to impress your crush. Just don't stare too long or they might think you're planning their kidnapping. Trick number 6, gratitude manipulation. Thanking someone for a trait you want them to display, so instead of saying, "Sorry to keep you waiting," say, "Thank you for being patient," will make them more likely to act in accordance with your words. By thanking them for a quality you value, you're essentially giving them a positive suggestion. People are more likely to comply with requests that are framed as compliments. Trick number 7, nodding persuasion. Nodding your head up and down slightly when you want someone to agree with what you are saying. Perfect for gaslighting someone or just to get your roommate to do the dishes. Trick number 8, we-centered world. Change the perspective from I to we, and people will automatically align themselves with you. Remember when Voldemort said, "We are not amused"? Turns out he was just trying to manipulate Harry into joining his Death Eaters. Trick number 9, silent persuasion. Waiting several seconds or up to minute to say something after someone has given you an offer or asked you for something will make what you say next high likely to be agreed with. Most people hate uncomfortable silence, especially salespeople. Just don't try this on your girlfriend when she asks to split the bill. Trick number 10, forehead fury. Staring at people's forehead irritates them quite a lot. Staring at someone's forehead can be seriously irritating, almost like Thor staring down Thanos before the snap. It's intense, uncomfortable, and you might end up losing an eye, a hammer, or your brother. So maybe just stick to blinking. Trick number 11, numeric grounding. If you want to de-escalate someone who is distraught and shut down, ask them questions that involve numbers, like their address or phone number. It will oftentimes pull them out of their emotional state and into a better headspace. Trick number 12, informational extraction. If you're trying to figure out the name of something or someone, ask a question with a fake information like, "Is the door code still 7752?" Or, "Is Kathy still the manager at the restaurant?" The person will usually correct you with the real information. For example, "Is the murder weapon still hidden in the basement?" Trick number 13, appreciative acknowledgement. Instead of saying, "It's okay," when someone apologizes, say, "Thank you for apologizing." It keeps you from pushing the problem completely under the rug and opens the door for growth and communication. Trick number 14, repetition indoctrination. People start to believe something if they're told it over and over and over, even if it goes against everything they know. That's why the news is so important to pretty much every government on Earth. They get to decide what we hear over and over. Repetition is the key to indoctrination. Just ask any cult leader or reality TV producer. Trick number 15, authority implication. If you want someone who doesn't normally take your ideas into account to take them more seriously instead of claiming the ideas as your own, say that successful people or companies like Bill Gates or Tesla use them, and explain to the person how they can apply the same ideas to their present situation. Trick number 16, humble agreement. Instead of saying, "I know," say, "You're right." It'll make you look less like an asshole and make them feel smart, which will make them easier to work with. Trick number 17, physical persuasion. If someone is bothering you at your desk too often, continue the conversation, but get up and walk them back to their desk. Trick number 18, trust deception. If you want to be an effective liar, build a reputation of being honest. The more you are known as being reliable, the easier it is to deceive and manipulate. Honesty builds trust, but deception builds empires. Trick number 19, favor inflation. If you make a favor seem bigger than it is before asking it, the person on the receiving end is much more likely to help. "Could you hide this body for me?" Suddenly, folding laundry seems like a breeze. Trick number 20, behind the back betrayal. Talk good behind people's back. It'll get to them, trust me. It'll get to everybody. Trick number 21, silent intimidation. When someone's being rude to you, stay completely silent and stare at them. It'll make them feel incredibly uncomfortable, and they'll usually act civilly after a few moments. Trick number 22, sonic shield. Wear noise-canceling headphones if you don't want people to talk to you, even if you're not listening to music. I personally wear noise-canceling headphones because sometimes the world's soundtrack is just too annoying. Trick number 23, favor cultivation. If you want someone to like you, ask them to do small favors for you and be very appreciative when they comply. Bonus points if it involves disposing of a body. Trick number 24, linguistic manipulation. The wording of the questions often influences the answers. For example, to the question, "How fast were the cars going when they crashed?" people give, on average, an estimated speed that is faster than when the question is formulated as, "How fast were the cars going when they collided?" Words are powerful weapons. That's why lawyers make so much money and why politicians are so good at starting wars. Trick number 25, silent extraction. Silence. If you want to know something, ask the question, then wait. People want to fill the silence and will talk and talk. Trick number 26, ego boost diversion. If someone asks you a particularly hard question, say, "What a good question." It'll make the person feel so pleased with themselves that they'll be less critical of the answer and may not even fully pay attention to it at all. Trick number 27, strategic exit. If you bump into someone you know in public and don't want to spend time sharing awkward small talk, tell them exactly where you're going and why, and then ask them the same thing. Once they answer, you can say, "Well, I won't keep you longer then. Have a good day." Trick number 28, inviting inquiry. Instead of asking, "Do you have any questions?" ask, "What questions do you have?" People will be more likely to speak up. Trick number 29, emotional shield. Instead of verbally attacking someone for doing something, say how you feel. They can get angry and defensive if they feel attacked, but they can't get mad at you for how you feel. Trick number 30, unusual anchor. If you need to remember something, think about it while doing something noticeably unusual, like moving something in your room out of place. When you notice it later, you'll be reminded of the thought. I know, these tricks are super dark and manipulative, but seriously, don't watch my other video called 10 Dark Psychology Tricks for Power and Influence. It's so evil, I'm actually going to delete it soon. Bye!